Welcome back. This is John Locke, and today I'm answering a question from one of our viewers, Patrick, which is how would you market a niche business like a restaurant? So, a lot of people don't know this. The very first site that I ever did for money for a client, not friends or family or just practicing making a website, but the very first website that I ever made for money was a restaurant website. That's a story for another day. Um, but marketing restaurants and trying to get found online, it's its own type of thing. It really has a lot of very specific things that you probably should be doing. I'm going to look at just Chinese restaurants in Sacramento. And the principles here, they're going to apply to all different types of restaurants. Um, there might be some specific things that you would do for different types of restaurants, but the basic places where you would want to show up and the basic things that you would want to do, you would want to have here. One thing that I'm going to say before we even go look at the search results here is most restaurant websites are not that great. The menu is either a photograph or it's an image. It's not text, which is not good. Or the menu is a PDF. Um, the main things that you want to have on your restaurant website to make it good is have the menu, preferably in text, right near the top, like a button to that, a link to the menu, a link to the directions, a map to where you're at, and just maybe some photos of your food. But those are the main things that people are looking for when they come to the website, or if they can order online or if they can order delivery. How do they do that? Now, what a lot of people are doing nowadays when it comes to restaurants is DoorDash, or they're using Grubhub or different things like that. I don't know if there's a cost to the restaurant. I really don't know off the top of my head. I would imagine that there is a little bit of associated cost with that, but this is how people are just ordering food nowadays. So that is one thing that I would really look into. I use DoorDash. I used it today. And always tip these people on top of what you're doing through the app. Um, that is my advice to you. um, but moving on, when it comes to just ranking, a lot of what you're going to end up doing is going to be piggyback SEO, which is basically saying that if you're just a regular website, like a straight business website, you're probably not going to get up in the top 10. What's going to end up happening is you're going to be on any number of a whole bunch of different sites that are kind of aggregates of, the best of and the top this and the top that. And we'll point that out. But for our purposes, so I searched Chinese restaurant Sacramento. Of course, it's returning stuff that's close to me. Where I'm at, it's kind of right in between. It's right in between Rancho Cordova and Elk Grove and South Sacramento and Wilton. So I'm getting stuff that's more kind of from South Sacramento here. So Hong Kong Islander Tea Key and Sunrise Chinese Restaurant. You'll notice that these have 402 reviews, 134, and 213 respectively. I don't know what else is up at the top in the map here. P.F. Chang's, I guess, 689, 233 for New Hong Kong Walk. Hong Kong House is 353. One thing that I can tell you is the more reviews that you can get from Google, the more reviews you can get from Yelp and some of these other places that I'm going to show you, probably the better it is for you. If you don't have that many reviews, you're probably going to be farther down the list. If people mention whatever it is that you're trying to rank for, whether it's Chinese food or pizza or chicken and waffles or if ice cream parlor or whatever it is, that's probably going to be good for you. Because let's take a look. let's go to like page 5 of the results. How many reviews? See, there's still, hundreds of reviews, but some of these are like dipping down to only like 21 or so. But almost everything up at the top was 100, 200, 300, 400 reviews. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so up at the top, you'll notice there's two lists. One is top 10 Chinese food in Sacramento from Yelp. The other one is best Chinese restaurant Sacramento. Yelp does a lot of these lists. They end up getting ranked number one, or sometimes one, two, and three, um, and a lot of Google results for a lot of industries um, for reasons. But they're probably a good choice to rank number one for any type of restaurant because it gives people a choice of what to look at. You'll notice up at the top there's three sponsored results: uh, Lotus Fusion, Chef Bo, and Juju Kebab and Barbecue. Then you'll see most of these have a ton of reviews. So Fortune Chinese Food, Temple Garden, TNZ, Chef Bo, Wings Restaurant, Sunrise Chinese Restaurant, Shanghai Cuisine, Yang's Noodle, Frank Fats has 672 reviews. Good Friends has 520. Golden Dragon 327. This one only has 61 reviews, but most of these other ones have 100, 200, 300, 400 reviews. Now, one thing I want you to notice too is when you are a restaurant, you want to make sure that you get the categories on Yelp and any of these other sites that you're going to be appearing on. You want to make sure that you get the categories right because that does have a little bit of an effect on where you place within the search rankings. So most of these have Chinese. This one's Chinese, Chinese seafood and soup, Chinese. Same with that one. This one's Chinese and soup. This one says Shanghaiese. This one is Taiwanese, Szechuan, and noodles. This one is Chinese, Japanese, and sushi bars. But most of these are just straight Chinese, or they're Chinese and soup, Chinese and noodles. This one says Chinese and Mongolian. But make a note of that. I had a friend that very recently asked me about this. They manage a site that is like a brew pub and craft beer and stuff like that. And they were noticing that they didn't rank as high as they wanted to in Google. One of the things that I suggested to them is you might want to take a look at the categories on Yelp because in their case, I noticed that a lot of the sites seem to rank higher than theirs in Google. They had the category of craft beer, brew pub, and beer. And then their particular client had it was American bar and then beer, and it didn't have craft beer and it didn't have pub. So I said just kind of think about what categories you want to have there. This is the other one, like best Chinese restaurant. So there's a little bit different. The Lotus Fusion is still there. Hunan Bar and Restaurant, Yummy Cafe, that's sponsored. But a lot of these same ones appear again. Fortune Chinese Food, Temple Garden, Sunrise Chinese Restaurant, TNZ, Frank Fats, Wings, Yang's Noodle, Chef Bo, Peace Cuisine, Gen Kitchen, Shanghai Cuisine. That one's new, Uncle Chinese Cuisine. But some of these ones are a little bit more near me. Like, some of these are starting to appear like more near where I'm at. So I think there is a little bit of geolocation like going on here. You'll notice that there's nothing here from like Roseville or Rockland or Florin. Not Florin, but Folsom. Nothing from Woodland. One in Davis. A couple in Elk Grove. A couple more in South Sac. Most of them are downtown. So just be aware of that. There are different landing pages for different cities and stuff like that, but you do want to be piling up Yelp reviews whenever possible. If they can mention certain things in there, if they can take photos, positive reviews, things like that, it's going to help. most definitely. Okay, so third thing, best Chinese food restaurants in Sacramento. This is from the Sacramento Bee. If you can get written up in your local newspaper or newspapers or local TV station, anything like that that's online, that's going to help more than likely. Because, like I said, this top 10 page, you're going to notice that you're going to see later on that there's barely any actual standalone restaurants in this top 10. It's all compiled of lists or aggregate sites. So they said there's 10 sites worth checking out, and they each give a dish that goes along with it. And the ones that they mentioned, first off, they start with Frank Fats right there, like at the top before they even get into the list, because this is probably the most famous Chinese restaurant here in Sacramento. But it talks a history lesson about this. Then it goes on to mention Frank Fats, China Palace, Asian Pearl, Shanghai Delight, Joy City Restaurant, Wong's Garden, Hong Kong Islander, Macau Cafe, Happy Garden Seafood and Restaurant, New China. So I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. Hong Kong Islander, it's mentioned here. It's also up in here. Sunrise Chinese, was that mentioned? Up here? Can't remember. Sunrise Chinese. I think it was on the Yelp page though. So a little bit of a correlation there. Okay. TripAdvisor. So this is very interesting. TripAdvisor, definitely a place that you want to be on if you are a restaurant. One thing that I noticed here, the ones at the top have a lot of reviews. Frank Fats is number 1 with 363 reviews. Good Friends is 59. Yui Hang has 35 reviews. That's the only one that's in the top 10, at least when I'm Googling it. That is an actual standalone website. Frank Fats is on page 2, but I'll show you why I believe that they're there. Hong Kong Islander, again, they have 34 reviews. P.F. Chang's, you'll see a lot of them in these lists. They have 156 reviews. New Blue Sky, Lam Kwang Deli, Macau Cafe, again. King Palace Seafood Restaurant, Ming Dynasty, Hoi Sin, Golden Dragon. So all these different ones, you'll see a lot of these, any type of thing, whether you're, like I said, whether you're pizza or soul food or, a dessert shop or, a salad bar or a steakhouse, you're going to see a lot of the same places mentioned over and over again. But your goal is to get mentioned in these things. If your, local paper or local sites do a best of, this city, try and get mentioned in those. But TripAdvisor, another place that you absolutely need to get reviews from. Okay, so Foursquare. Yes, Foursquare is still around. It's still important. I'm going to show you something that's very interesting here. So they made a list of 15 best Chinese restaurants in Sacramento. It is created by Foursquare lists of the staff. But Frank Fats is number 1. One thing it's hard to see here. They had 24 tips and reviews. This is rated like an 8.4. This is an 8.3. This one is 27 tips and reviews. Kind of hard to see this. I don't know if you know anybody that's on Foursquare still or uses Swarm or specifically Foursquare. I guess these all have a rating here. This one is 3 tips and reviews. Panda Express. I don't know. Some people like Panda Express. Lolly Bowl Noodle House is 7 tips and reviews. Hang Fat, down the road for me. Good place. I like them. 5 tips and reviews. P.F. Chang's, 24 tips and reviews. Jade Fountain Cafe, 10 tips and reviews. So getting reviews on this, probably a good idea. Getting tips and reviews, other people that use this app. If you can encourage them somehow to use this, that would be helpful. Because I think this still does have some influence. So here's one. KRCA, this is the local NBC affiliate here. Channel 3. Okay, so they do mention Frank Fats. It's number 1. Peace Cuisine Sunrise Chinese Restaurant again. Temple Garden and Rose Garden Chinese Cafe. I think we've seen that one before too. So these don't have any. I think these link to their Yelp. They don't link to their actual site, but they link to their Yelp. Very interesting. They don't link to their site. They link to the Yelp. That should tell you something. Yelp, your Yelp page is insanely important when you're in a restaurant. It's almost always going to rank number one because Google has a little bit of thing in their algorithm where they do favor Yelp when it comes to restaurants and a lot of things. Okay, so here's another thing. The Sacramento A-List, best Chinese in the Sacramento area. Now, A-List runs in a lot of metro areas, and it depends because usually that needs like a major sponsor. So KCRA also sponsors this. Now, they did not run an A-List this year, but they did the last couple years. And the cool thing about this is if you have this in your city, even if it's not running that year and nobody's sponsoring it, you can still sign up for a profile. So according to this, Journey to the Dumpling won. Basically, it's like everybody that signs up for this, they can vote once, and whoever gets most votes at the end of the voting period wins. Frank Fats was number 2. There's some other ones that were here. P.F. Chang's was number 7. Shanghai Garden was 8. Some of the Golden Dragons, 11. There's some other ones here. But as you can see, it lists their Twitter, their Facebook page, and their website. These are no followed links. Oh, this goes to their Instagram, but these are no followed links, but these are important links because they're from a local site, and it shows that Google that you have relevance and that you are probably good if you are winning or placing very high in competitions like this. I also want to say that, around here in Sacramento, there are other sites that do annual top 10 competitions. I think there's like a best of Elk Grove website. There's a best of Carmichael competition. I think there's a best of Roseville. If you can win or even place in some of these types of things, that would be very beneficial to you as well. Okay, so here is the one site that placed in the top 10 for Chinese restaurant in Sacramento. Now this site is, again, this has some of the things that I mentioned, as you will see in just a second. All right, if it will load. Basically, so it's not loading right now, but I can tell you because I was just on this. The page has the menu is photos. The menu is not. I don't even think it's a PDF. The hours of operation are photos. Okay, so ideally, you would be having menus that are text. You'd be having directions to your restaurant, whether you can order online or anything like that, a map. All those things would be a text except for the map, ideally. Okay, so Zomato. This is still around. Okay, best Chinese restaurants. This gives me the best in South Sacramento. Now, why is it giving me the top Chinese restaurants in South Sacramento? This is something that we talked about. I think it was in the video like just yesterday. No, maybe 2 days ago? Or no, maybe this video is yet to come out. I think this video is coming out tomorrow. But it's about personalization and why people don't see the same things when they search from different places. Well, this is a great example of this because, like I said before, where I'm at, it's right in between South Sacramento and Elk Grove. So I'm seeing results, this landing page for South Sacramento, not for Sacramento downtown, not for Roseville, not for Elk Grove, but this is what Google believes that I want to see because this is where I'm at. Okay. So it's given me this list of different places. Not necessarily the best though, but all these, if you go to the actual profiles, um, it has a link for the phone number. Um, it has the address as the website right here. You can see there's a link, directions, all that stuff. Um, Now this used to be Urban Spoon. Uh, I think they merged with Urban Spoon. It says former or powered by Urban Spoon or former previously Urban Spoon. I think that they were two separate companies at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they merged, and this is the one that came out on top and still existed. Any type of food app, any type of food website that's like a big popular social thing like this, Google seems to have a lot of trust for things like this. So if you can get on something like this, get a lot of good reviews, that's going to be really positive for you. Okay, so that's one thing you need to do if you're a restaurant. Okay, that's page 2. Okay, so, and then also here, best Chinese restaurants in Sacramento, CBS Sacramento. This is a top list. Okay, so this is the one that does not mention Frank Fats, but it's all like downtown ones. Shanghai Garden, Mayflower Cuisine, or Mayflower Chinese, I should say. Golden Dragon, ordered from them today. Popo Garden, Temple Garden. It's all downtown. There's nothing like outside of downtown here. It's downtown, East Sac, and Midtown, I should say. Um, that's all what this is. But no Frank Fats, no PF Chang's. Interesting. But it is the local thing. Also, no links. Oh, no, these are links, yeah. So these do link to the website where they could find it. Okay, so that's good. Let's take a look at this one. Let's take a look at Golden Dragon. Let's look at their website. Now, they're not like ranking #1 or anything like that, but they show up a lot. I guess this is okay. This picture, this background photo is a little fuzzy. Don't like that. It's a little hard to read. But, oh, there it goes. Now it loaded. Okay, so it's a little less fuzzy. It's still a little hard to read. This contrast is a little bad. Anyway, but, okay, so this is in text. That's good. Here's the chef specials. We cater, order for delivery, so you can order through Uber Eats or DoorDash. That's what people are trying to find. I'd probably make this a little bit bigger if this was me, but this site looks actually really good. Compared to some of the other sites that are actually ranking high, this is doing all right. So this is the type of thing that you would probably want to see on your website if you are a restaurant. There's our story. Cool. Kids always work. Kids are cute. Everybody likes kids, right? Okay. So order online. Elk Grove only. So they only deliver in Elk Grove. Interesting. Okay, so this is waiting to load. So I don't know what this is, but that's okay. Another thing, we were talking about the CBS thing here. There was another site that I used to kind of help out with, like here and there, and this was like a site in New York, and they did a very specialized thing called a what was it called? Like bacon, egg, and cheese. Um, yeah, I think it was like a bacon, egg, and cheese or something like that. Um, Sandwich, and I guess there's like a whole bunch of shops like that in New York. But they got a lot of write-ups from different places like Thrillist, and they were on the news, and they Urban Spoon. I think when they were still Urban Spoon, they covered them. And there were some other places that wrote them up. If you can get that kind of coverage, even if it's like local, even if it's your like local paper that's like an alternative weekly or something, um, if they have links online, if they have a online version of their publication, and they link to your website or mention you or whatever, that's going to help. Anything like that, but definitely the bigger the better, obviously. the more coverage, the more local stuff you can get. You win these like top 10 in Sacramento or San Jose or Houston or Rochester or wherever it is that you are. Any of these things are going to help. So be looking for that local coverage. Let's look at the second page of this too, just really quick. Sacramento top 10. This site was taken over this year. This site has been around a long time. It was in limbo. I don't know what was going on, but somebody acquired it. But this is the site now. Best Chinese food 2019. Here's a map. So Frank Fat's, Teacup House, Hop Sing. I think these are all kind of ones that are like in the middle. Chef Bo. P.F. Chang's, again, that's Roseville. Shanghai Cuisine. So a lot of these that you saw in other places are also mentioned on this local site. That's awesome. That's what you want to do. So here's one, Hong Kong House. I wanted to point this one out. Oh, here's her site. So this is an ad actually up here. I don't know why they have this here, but this is an ad. I don't know why they would do that, but I wouldn't do that. But aside from that, they have, the homepage. Here's the menu, location, hours, contact. That's all people really want. Again, this is an ad. Okay, call a restaurant for current prices and selections. I would not put this ad here. But this looks like it's a photo. Oh, it's a photo of their menu. Honestly, if you can get somebody to put this as text on your site, that would be awesome. But as you can see, this is the second actual site that ranks in the results. And these are all ads, by the way. Wow. So hours of operation, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, none of this. That wouldn't be good. But hey, this is the second site in the actual results. Here's a map. Here's contact us. But let's take a look. Okay. So Grubhub, again, here's another thing where you can get reviews. This is for Golden Dragon. It's for like one specific place. Is Golden Dragon near me? It's on Broadway. I ordered from there today, but it was from DoorDash. It wasn't from Grubhub. I wonder if Google knows that I did that. Maybe. They might. It's possible, because it was all on my phone, and I'm logged in on my phone. Hello. Yes, I'll let you out. All right. Hold on. I can let my dog out. All right. So that's very interesting. But so here's another one, the Mandarin, yp.com, Shanghai Garden. So Frank Fat's, I really do believe that this one would be ranking number 1, like overall, if not for one thing. You'll notice that in the title tag here, doesn't say Chinese restaurant in Sacramento, doesn't say Chinese food in Sacramento, doesn't say upscale anything. But you see on page 2 here, Golden Dragon, Elk Grove, Sacramento. This one is near me. Google knows that. So that's very interesting. Sacramento Downtown Grid. Here's another thing. Any of these things that you can get on, you've got to do. Okay, this is not loading. Okay, I want to show you this one too. This is Frank Fat's restaurant. This one, if I run it... So Frank Fat's, if I run it through Ahrefs, it's going to do better than this one, Yi Hung Dim Sum. Okay, so as you can see, only 14 domains are referring to Yu Hong Dim Sum. I know I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. Okay, but Frank Fat's, how many referring domains? It's got 98, which is probably still less than I probably thought that it would have. I actually would have thought there would have been more, but you can see that the referring domains has gone up like steadily over time, and that's only over the last 2 years. Let's take a look at the website. This website is probably a good example of what you would want to do. I don't know if you want to have the video, For them, it makes sense because they're a little bit more upscale. They're in very, very downtown. They're kind of known as more of a destination spot. So having the video might be good. You might choose not to do it. That's okay. But you can see there's a link to the menu. There's a link to the hours. Right here, here's a page about their history. There's a link to their drink menu, reservations. It's all right there. The site looks good. Doesn't look garbage. Looks like people actually, tried. Here's a link to all their socials. So on the first page, you pretty much get links to everything that you're going to need. Let's take a look at the menu. I haven't really looked at it yet. And you can see, hey, it's all text. Isn't that awesome? That's amazing. That's what every restaurant site should have, is something like this where the menu is in actual text. Google can index this. Humans can read this. They can make sense of it. Let's see what this is. Look, there's photos of the actual food that you're trying to order. That is incredible. That's okay. So you can see there's photos of the food that you're trying to order. That's incredible that you want to have. Oh, that's cool. I mean, that is about as much as you can, reasonably expect from a restaurant site. I mean, this far and away is probably the best one that we're going to see today. So that's a good example of what you want to do. Let's look at hours. Hey, look, here's a picture of like the actual restaurant. Here's a map. Here's the location, phone number, hours. Right on. And I bet, hey, it's a 360 map. That's cool. Now, maybe you don't need to do all that. For some reason, this gets blocked on Firefox. I don't know why. Anyway, there's a 360 map here. If I was on Chrome, I could see this, but I don't know why. But anyway. Okay, downtown grid. And here's all the Chinese restaurants. Right here, Frank Fat's is number 1. And here's all the other ones that are in the downtown area. Now, downtown, this site only really takes people that are in the downtown area. If you're like out in the suburbs, they don't take you. But, take advantage of any of the local things that you have within your city, within your town. Anything like this. Any type of press coverage that you can get. Any type of list that you can get on. Any of these other sites where you can get reviews with specific attention to Google reviews, Yelp reviews, TripAdvisor, Zomato, Grubhub, any of those things. Because I will show you something too. Golden Dragon. So Golden Dragon, Elk Grove, Sacramento. Let's take a look. All right. So if we look that up, here's the knowledge graph for it. Now they got 228 reviews, but let's see some of the places that they're pulling from. The menu is on places at singleplatform.com. You can order from Postmates or DoorDash. Okay? And those link directly to the actual place. But they have reviews here from Grubhub, from Foursquare, from DoorDash. So Google does pull in all this information from these different places. So Yelp, TripAdvisor, Foursquare, DoorDash, Grubhub. I mean, I think the message here, if you're a restaurant, is take advantage of any and all of the secondary places where you should be. Don't just expect to have a website and have that be it. Have a good looking website. Get your business categories or your food categories right on all the different sites where you should be. What's this one? Menuism. Interesting. Check out your top level competitors and see like where else they are. But anyway, yeah, see, they're here. Does it have a link to their website? No. But it has the reviews. So it does pull in reviews from DoorDash. Delivered, see? Oh. Okay, so there is reviews right here. You can see that they actually have 2,000 reviews, which is quite a lot. Maybe in other cities, like there's other ones where it's like 10 times this, but DoorDash is taken off like pretty hard. But yeah, so all this actually comes to Google. So any type of thing like this, yeah, take advantage of it. So menuism, look, hey, it has ratings here too. It's insane. Is this a link to the website? Let's take a look. This, I would assume, is probably a no follow. It's a no followed link. Doesn't really matter though. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's no followed or followed. You still want to be in these places because Google expects to see you there. More of these places that you're at, the better it's going to be for you. Um, is this a no followed? That's no followed. Doesn't really matter. Most of the links you're going to get are going to be no followed. It doesn't really matter. Um, I think the point is you don't need a ton of links. You don't need a ton of stuff. You need a good looking site with a readable menu. You need reviews from all the places where I've mentioned. Um, and you really need to realize that it's not likely that your website is going to be necessarily in the map unless you're close to the people that you're trying to attract. And most of the page one is going to be dominated by stuff like Yelp and TripAdvisor and all the local reviews and local food bloggers and local listicles and things like that. But take advantage of all these different things that are out there. Look for them. Look for opportunities uh, to do that. Um, those are all things that you can leverage. This is what I would do if I was running my own restaurant. And I'll close this out by saying too, I do the digital marketing and building websites and helping people with SEO and all that stuff now. But you know, a lot of my very first jobs, like I don't know, like 3 or 4 years, 4 or 5 years that I was like working, a lot of it was in restaurants. Like very first job I got was in fast food, but um, I worked as a dishwasher, worked as a prep cook, as a fill-in line cook. I've been a waiter, busboy, been the host, uh, done all that stuff. So I managed a kitchen in like a pizza place. So I do kind of understand that like making money in restaurants is not always easy. You get people trying to sell you ads from Yelp. I don't think that that's really the right play. I think that right now, like everybody is really just ordering from Grubhub and DoorDash, and people don't have their own delivery drivers that much anymore. I mean, a couple pizza places, but everything is just kind of outsourcing it to the, all these gig economy type of things like DoorDash. So I do think that you need to, you know, be on those, and I know that it probably costs a little bit of money to be on those too. It's a little bit of your margin gone, but that's kind of what you need to be doing. I don't know that I would run like Facebook ads. Um, it probably doesn't cost a ton to do that, so that might be okay. If you can do like an email newsletter, I mean, I guess if you're gonna send out coupons, people might use those. I think that's all that really people are like looking for, is as far as like an email newsletter. Um, if you have something like a pub or something like that, and you have like weekly trivia, or if you have karaoke, or if you have, um, live music, sometimes people might be interested in that, and going on Facebook or using your email list might be a good way to promote that. But I think that being on all these different sites, using select types of social media, like Instagram or Facebook, in a way that makes sense, in a way that targets people, that makes sense. But these are all things that you can do for SEO. Uh, I don't think it takes a ton, but you got to get reviews. You got to have good service, customer service, and having good food paramount. Got to have those things. uh, that's what I would do if I was, you know, tasked with running a restaurant or doing marketing for a restaurant or doing digital marketing for a restaurant. These are all things that I would really look at and have somebody trying to help or having somebody within the restaurant doing it. I think it's important. My name's John Locke. My business is Lockdown Design and SEO. I'm here every single day making videos on SEO. Hope you got a little something out of this. I want to thank all the new subscribers who have come on this month. I think we had about 40 new subscribers this last month. Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. I'll be here tomorrow with a new video. Until next time, peace.